Brad Nash and his Mayor's Moments on KSMO Radio. Thank you for coming in on Wednesday. Yesterday was our Inter-County Day, so
Yes.
we had to bump you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But Heather's a lot prettier than you are, so.
Well, I try. I
know
mean,
you do. I know, but
I comb my hair and everything
no,
before I come in. But
and it's always been the second Tuesday for Inter-County for the last like 15 years. So that was a little bit. That was BB before
Yeah.
Brad.
Yeah,
So,
well,
they get the.
I'll take it. We had a fire board meeting I needed to get ready for anyway.
I figured
so,
you were busy enough anyway,
yeah,
so
it worked out well.
didn't need to add to it. So very good. Well, anyway, good to see you, my friend.
Good to be here.
I do want to send our condolences for your father.
Thank you very much.
I know your mom and dad are fantastic people, and I hated to hear what he was going through first off, and it's one of those things that, boy,
yeah.
What do you do?
And he was able to sell cars for the majority of his life, and that's what he loved.
That's all I ever knew that he did.
he loved selling cars, and he loved interacting with people and that type of thing. And so he got to do that pretty close to up until he passed away. But he had a good life. He influenced a ton of people, and got to visit with a lot of people, and that's what he enjoyed doing. Between that and playing music, and there towards the very end, he wasn't able to sell cars, and he wasn't able to play his guitars and everything like he wanted to, and so that made it pretty rough on him. But he did good.
Yeah, he did. Sold me a couple cars, I know that. The thing I remember most about your dad, it was kind of funny. When he was working at Fairgrounds, okay, and I'd gone over there and I was leasing vehicles, and I decided to buy one. Okay, because the lease payment and the car payment was cheaper than the lease. If you can imagine that, but it was 0% at that time. So we're going back a few years here, guys.
Yeah.
You just can't buy a new Blazer. Haven't been. Well, you can now, but you couldn't. 2004 was the last year. So. Anyway, I remember closing the deal, okay, and he goes, well, let me take you to lunch. And I said, great. So I can't even remember where we went, somewhere on Martin Springs Drive. But anyway, we went to lunch. He left his wallet at his desk. So he gets done. I said, oh, yeah, typical used car salesman. Don't have any money, right? He goes,
That's great.
Can you pay? I'll pay you back. I said, don't worry about it. But it was hilarious because, he is searching all over. He's looking on the floor. Went out to the vehicle. I said, it's okay. I don't want to lose my wallet. I said, well, I'm sure it's not lost. But
Trying to get a little more money off of it.
yeah, I guess so. Didn't want to lose that commission, But anyway, that's my Dennis Nash story.
Yeah.
But he loved selling cars.
He did.
He just loved it. He was the passion that he showed in it, but it wasn't that he just liked selling the cars. He knew all about those vehicles. It's
Yeah.
like he was in it, driving it, because he would say, "You need to do this. Check this out."
Yeah.
And I'd get in the Blazer. And he said, "Well, look, you can do this, and you can do this." Did you already drive this vehicle? Well, one just like it.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. But again, our condolences.
Thank you very much.
To your mom and to you and Greg and the entire family.
Yeah.
And so, and everybody really is family. Dennis knew like you said, had an impact on a lot of different people. So I want to pass that on to you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
So,
I appreciate it.
okay, very good. Let's move forward. We had a Board of Aldermen meeting on Monday.
We did.
Back at council chambers as they kicked that administration people out of there. No, I actually moved it back into the city administration building, which is a nice thing.
Yes.
Start moving back in there, but it's not finished yet.
It's not. We still have a couple more things to do. We're working on the drive-through. The corner, if you've ever been through the drive-through,
it's tight.
It's very
especially
tight.
coming in that first booth.
It is. And we had tried when we first had to shut the office down. The second aisle or booth there wasn't working at the time. We called in the company, and they came in and worked on it, and it worked for a short time, and then it stopped again. And basically, for that to work properly, we were going to have to put a whole new system in there, and it really wasn't worth that, especially when we had the office open. You know, we get some traffic through there, but not enough where you would need 2 stalls there. And so what we're ending up doing is we're removing that section out of there to open that up to make it a lot easier to get in and out of there. So we still have that to do. They're going to hopefully work on that this week, maybe finish it up next week if everything goes according to plan.
Right. They got a couple of great days.
Yeah. And then on the inside, for the most part, everything is done. We had some issues with some glass cutting. The glass cutters somehow got a hold of the wrong plans, and the glass that they cut will not fit. So we had to.
How do you get the wrong plans?
I don't know. That was an engineering issue, I believe, from what I understand. But they.
I laugh. It's not funny, but I laugh because I'm trying to figure out how this guy's going to explain this.
Yeah.
Explain this to me, Junior.
Well, you know, it kind of par for the course here. But so they're going to have to recut that and get it shipped back down here. And so that's going to take just a little bit to get done. As soon as it gets here and gets in, then we're going to be looking at doing an open house. And I tell you what, the workflow in the building is going to be so much better. And it's going to be really nice.
We just want to remind people, don't walk into the entrance where it used to be.
Yeah. You might break your nose.
Yeah, you're gonna hit you're gonna hit a brick wall. That's literally, you will hit a brick wall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so they moved the drop-off box, and so the work is still being done on the drive-through window, but pretty much everything else looks really nice inside. It really does look good. So looking forward to that very much. Well, we're gonna get moving forward because I know Nicole Hancock will be in about 9:10, so we'll get moving forward. Oh yes, yeah. Well, it's our hospital spotlight. So anyway, Nicole loves to come in, so she loves to talk about eating, and this is a perfect time to be doing it. Right?
Hey.
So, but eating healthy, that's kind of I know, it kind of puts a damper on it.
You know.
Yeah, but there's always Christmas cookies, right? And brownies, and pie, and so much more, and candy canes, and just a little bit of that. All right, very good. All right, Board of Aldermen meeting Monday in the council chambers. A couple of bids we're taking a look at. With all the changing out with the AMI system, the city now has a surplus of scrap meters.
Yes.
Water meters, electric meters, and all different kinds, styles, and types.
That is
of meters.
Correct. Many years worth of different styles, types, and so what we did, we went out for bid to scrap these meters, and we got 2 people that has bid on them. One was Schwartz Sales here in Salem. For the assorted water meters, they bid 50 cents each. For the assorted electric meters, they bid 10 cents each. And then their bid was good for 30 days. The second bid that we received was from
Global Meter.
And for their bid that they put in, the Neptune meters with the brass bottom, they are willing to give $3.20 each. For the 1-inch meters, there is $13. 1.5-inch meters is $16. 2-inch meters is $26. 3-inch meters is $50 each. And then the electric meters, depending on the type of electric meter, will range between $5 and $25, and that depends on the brand and what type of meter that is.
We got some pretty old meters.
We do, and what this company will do, they will actually come down and bring their folks, and from what I understand, as they're loading these things into their truck, they make a log of what meters there are there, how many, that type of thing, and they write us a check for the meters before they leave.
I hope they bring down a few people.
Yeah,
We have 2,187 water meters and 2,597 electric meters.
Yes.
That's going to take longer than a few minutes.
It's going to take a little bit, but it'll be nice, and that due to the big cost difference, Global Meter was approved for that bid.
All right, very good. Now, most of these meters, obviously, are not going to be 3-inch meters.
Yeah.
Not many 3-inch water lines that we have that are read by a meter. So,
Yes.
those will be few and far between. But 1 and 1.5 inch, I could see a little bit, and probably a fond amount of 2-inch, but not too many 3-inch out there, I would think.
Yes.
I can hardly almost imagine. I remember when I did property management in St. Louis that we had a 6-inch water line coming in to do, the emergency water system in a theater.
Yeah.
And they had to cut into the main water line to do that. It was like $50,000 to do that.
Yeah.
And I remember they put a meter on. I said, I would hate to see that meter if that water ever came on. Because, first off, you're thinking about putting out a fire, right?
Sure,
if there's
absolutely.
a fire, you didn't know you're going to have to pay for the water.
Uh-huh.
They don't pay for it when the fire department shows up. They bring their own water, and you don't have to pay for them. This is coming straight through those, all the sprinklers.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would hate to see what that would ever have been. Didn't have to worry about it, thank you. But I thought, man, that's 6-inch meter on that water. I don't know. That
Pretty
sounds like
impressive.
a big flow to me. All right, very good. All right, we also had bids on the Salem Civic Theater.
Yes.
It's kind of been on a hold since COVID-19, but it's time to finish off that project. And we did get bids on ceiling tile, on sound system, on lighting, as well as safety lighting. I should say lighting, but safety lighting as well. That's the ones that go on the seats and down the aisles. And so we got bids for each of those.
That is correct. The total package for those bids was $36,754. We only had one company that submitted a bid for this. Yep. We had budgeted $40,000, so we're under budget. And that was approved to continue on with that. And also, just to let everybody know, the seats have also been ordered for that as well. So we're really excited, to move forward and get this thing up and going.
There will be some other incidentals. I mean,
Sure.
there's some speakers were donated and some other things, but they all have to be wired in. So we know that there will be some additional labor costs. I mean, they got a sound system, and then you got the speakers, but there's no wires to them.
Yeah.
They don't work very well that way, but they will. That'll all be done. And
Yes.
the nice thing about that bid, it came from a local company,
That is correct.
and a local company that's been pretty well put almost out of business due to COVID. So
Yes.
that's a real plus.
Yes, absolutely.
Not a lot of theaters open right now.
There's really not. I wish we could get them open, but with things going the way they are, I don't know. It could be a while still.
It could be another few months.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can get that done. All right, very good. So all the bids were approved. Moving to the consent agenda, that was approved as well. And then moving forward, we have planning and zoning report. Miss Mary Happel gave that report about a meadery.
Yes.
Not meatery, a meadery. There's a difference. A meatery will have some, delicious, pork rinds and steaks and lobster and all that good stuff. A meatery.
Now you're making me hungry.
Yeah, I bet I am. I'm making me hungry. A meadery this meadery is pretty cool because it is a fermentation. It's like a wine, but it's made from honey.
Yes.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yes, that is
Anyway,
correct.
so they had a planning and zoning meeting on November 30th, and they recommended it. But it's a pretty neat thing. I think that's going to be pretty cool.
I'm pretty excited to see this. We've been talking about this for a while now, and we finally got it to the phase where we're at now. And I'm really interested to see the process and how it works and everything. And before we started talking about this, I had never even heard of this before.
I'd heard of it, but I've never seen anybody do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Okay, we all know about moonshine.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
that is kind of like a meadery, but
Uh-huh.
and it's made from obviously corn, so same idea. But this is not a direct product,
Yeah.
and that's why they kind of this is a little bit different. It's made from honey, which is the natural product, but made from bees from pollen. So it should be interesting.
Yeah.
And one of the neat things about this, and we want to remind everybody, this meadery is not a bar. This
That is
they
correct.
only do tasting. Now you can buy the product if you taste it and like it. You can buy the bottle, but this is not a bar. You can't sit there and all day,
Yeah.
and they're not going to be serving you up pizza or anything like that. So you may as well just get in and do your testing. But it will be open, they think, right now from 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday, which I find neat.
Yes.
You know, something like that, a little taste test.
Uh-huh.
Bring when the tourists are in town, got something they need to do. There you go.
Yeah.
You know, check out the meadery right here in Salem, Missouri.
You betcha.
Bet you they don't have any idea what that is either.
Yeah.
But they will find out, and that's the neat thing. I think this will catch on.
Yeah.
Where people can go it now. The one thing about it is it takes time for this to ferment. So
Yes.
even if now that they've got the permit and they're getting everything ready, it's still probably going to be spring before the product is ready.
Yeah. I don't know anything about
I
that
don't
part.
either, but it's very interesting to me how the process works. I'm pretty excited. I like that. I want to go down there and find out more about it. So
That's when he gets everything up and going. I'd like to go for a tour.
I would too. Just see how this happens.
Yeah.
And is he getting the honey naturally from local sources? I mean, there's a lot of people who raise bees here.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, it would. It would.
So hopefully.
Yeah.
Keep it all in the family, right?
You betcha.
There you go. All right, Mr. Nash. Let's talk what Ray Walden had a fairly significant report to give on the city administration report. Obviously, our lights in the park has
Yes.
gone over very well.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people have gone through, and then, of course, we had just had the parade
Uh-huh.
and had perfect weather for the
Oh,
parade.
my goodness, yes.
Couldn't have been better.
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for anything better. And I do want to say the lights in the park, we have had a ton of compliments over that, and I appreciate all the businesses and the groups that have stepped up and done that. And, I hope we get to do it again next year and it continues to grow.
I think people are already making plans for next year.
Yeah, and my grandmother lives across from the park, and they're staying at my brother's right now, and while my mom's remodeling the house, and she sits there by the window every night, and she's got a perfect shot of the park, and looking at the Christmas lights and watching the cars and everything go in and out, and it's just been really nice, and the traffic that's gone through there has been very good, and so very exciting, very exciting.
And you can listen to Christmas music.
Uh-huh.
It's just 97.5, and
Yes.
it's it doesn't go very far. But yesterday, and I was going down the West Plains. Doggone if I didn't get it about 4 miles out of town. It's supposed to be 1,000 feet, but it just keeps going. But it's in that hole down there, and then as you go out 32, it just stays in that corridor. So I can see where that might go a little farther. It doesn't
Sure.
go as far to the west as it does to the east, but still, I was pretty impressed. I flipped it on. I thought, wow, that's pretty good stuff. Anyway, but 97.5. Actually, it's also on 95.9. So if you go either one, you're going to get Christmas music from the park. And it does go beyond just the park. It will go a little bit. So if you're in town and you want to listen to Christmas music, we'll refer to the park and the people who've donated. And we want to thank all those people, as Brad mentioned. And as Ray mentioned, there was a lot of, and it didn't have a lot of time, because by the time we decided to do this, Thanksgiving was just right around the corner, and to get up displays, people didn't have time to build the displays they want to build.
Yeah.
I think next year you're going to see a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
And a lot of them will be very creative.
And, I was thinking about maybe the possibility of trying to do a little competition between fire department and law enforcement and ambulance and all that. Maybe see who could decorate the best space. That might be a good deal.
That might be kind of fun.
Put a little competition in there.
Well, in our Christmas committee, when we have our after the Christmas thing meeting, because we had the business window decorating contest, which, by the way, A Look at Ground won that. We had 22 entries into that, so that's pretty cool.
Yes.
But we'll have a post-Christmas meeting, and then once we do, I think we're going to try and give away prizes.
That's cool.
For the light in the park.
Yeah.
Because putting up a lot of Christmas decorations, there is a cost to that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and let somebody get really creative, it should be rewarded a little bit. So
Yeah.
let's see if we can do something with that. Anyway, very good. All right. So, again, if you haven't been through the lights in the park, it'll be up to January 1st. So
Wonderful.
you got plenty of time. Probably that whole weekend. I think some people may start taking it down on the 2nd, but
Yeah.
that's up to them. Because Friday is the 1st. They may wait till Sunday. So,
Yeah.
but if you're planning on doing it, do it by then. And you can do it
Absolutely.
more than one time. It doesn't
Sure.
cost you a thing. It's absolutely free.
We've been through there about 3 or 4 times with our kids, and it seems like every time you go through, you see something a little bit different or whatever, and we just really enjoy it.
Or you missed it the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what I always used to try and go through the light displays, especially when you're driving. You can't turn your head both
Yeah.
ways. Even though you're going very slow, you're only catching a piece of it as
Yeah.
you go by. So, very good. All right. So we do want to remind everybody that I lost my train of thought. Do want to remind everybody, City Administration Building is back open.
Yes.
But again, the drive-through is not open.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct. So
if you want to drop off your bills, you can go inside, or you can put them in the drop box, which is now further to the north, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, it is actually underneath the awning for the drive-through, and that is available. It is in working order currently. You just can't drive through to get there. You've got to walk over there to get to that. But,
And do watch out for the big container they have out there. It holds
Yeah.
the trash. Please don't hit it.
yeah, hopefully that'll be gone before.
Yeah, it's too long. Well, they shouldn't have too much more to do.
Yeah.
You know, we had that out for the roof, and now
Yeah.
getting it up done. All right. Salem Economic and Development Director Sally Burbridge had a nice honor presented to her by becoming a fellow of the Delta Regional Authority. They have what they call an executive academy, and she was one of 4 from the Delta Regional Authority that got named to that academy.
That is correct, and that's a big honor to be able to be named to be able to do that. From what I understand, they only have 30 that they do this with, and for her to be able to go through that, that's a pretty big deal, and so we're proud of Sally. We're excited that she gets the opportunity to do this, and anything like that just helps Salem that much more. And so we're really excited for her and this venture.
I'm trying to remember if it's a 6 or 9 month program.
I read that, but
I know I read it too, but I really don't remember, and well, it's in there somewhere. It's in there, but anyway, but she's part of that program, and we'll be attending. There's classes. I'm sure some of these will be Zoom classes now.
Yeah.
And it's done through Arkansas State University and University of Louisiana Monroe and the University of Arkansas. So using the Delta region and all their assets, it should be pretty cool.
Exactly.
I'm sure she's going to make a lot of contacts out of that too as well.
Oh yes.
All right. Ray brought out that the city, as we talked about a streetscape for a few years, and reason one thing or another, especially with the budget and first off the wastewater treatment plant, and then we've got the sewer extension going out, the city hall renovations, a lot of different things. The streetscape has kind of been put on the back burner a couple times.
Yes.
But now and I found this out, a new arm of the TAP grant has come out. Not necessarily like the old TAP grant, which had to be a trail, and it had to have a definitive start and a definitive end. Well, now there's a extension to the TAP grant, which not only includes sidewalks, but lighting.
It does, and I am very excited about this. And the city, we've been very lucky when it comes to tap projects, and have been able to get a few of these. I'm really excited. The deadline for the applications is, I believe, the end of January. So I'm hoping we can get that in and get approved for that.
No problem.
Yeah, because when you look at starting to redo sidewalks all down Main Street there, and lighting and all that, it gets costly in a hurry.
And to bury the wires, that's another
Yeah,
part of the
exactly, and that's one of the things that we definitely want to do, is get the wires underground so we don't have to worry about those. And so this would definitely be a great project for a TAP grant, and so I'm hoping that that we get selected for that and we can move forward.
Right.
And it's definitely needed. The sidewalks and everything in downtown are getting pretty rough. We need to address some handicap accessibility issues, that thing. And so I'm really excited and optimistic, that we can get this and move forward with that.
Right, bury the wires and put in water lines so you can put the planter boxes back out there. And
Yes.
just have a spigot right there so that the wonderful people from SACPA who take care of that, and our wonderful clubs that take care of that, don't have to bring their own water.
Yes.
It gets a little hairy sometimes.
It does.
But anyway, or you can always call the fire department. You guys can come out there with a tanker and just blow it down.
Unfortunately,
It
the
might be
flowers probably wouldn't look very good.
I was going to say, it might be a little excessive water there, but they'll get a good drink.
Yeah.
No doubt. Anyway, but the TAP grant, as Brad's mentioning, this is something that the city has utilized before many times. We talked about the one that goes from basically the park all the way out to the R80 administration building, but there's also a junction that goes off there behind the baseball field.
Yes.
That goes to the parking lot, and then, as we mentioned at the original plans for the TAP grant, was actually to start Al Brown and go to City Park. Well, that was a bit too much of a project, and so we did part one, and then we'll do part two, which is in the middle, and then part three as we go down. So,
Yes.
But that's going to have to take, after you get a TAP grant, by the way, you have to wait, I think, 2 years. And we talked about it. It was after the awarding of the grant.
Yes.
So it's not when you finish the grant, finish the work. It's actually after the awarding of the money. Okay. So we're good to go.
Yes.
Yeah, we're good to go on that. Very good. All right. That's exciting stuff. All right. 2,723 people went to the community center at the Armory. That's a lot of people in the month of November.
It really is, and you look at some of the events and everything that's been canceled, because
no
of
casino
COVID,
night,
and
man.
No casino night. There was several large events, that was not able to be held, and to still have that amount of people coming in and out of that building, that's wonderful.
Yeah, a lot of people at the fitness center, and now the new gymnasium.
Yes.
And still working at getting the scoreboards up and stuff. It's not done yet, but it's the floor's in, everything's there, and a lot of people have already used that new gym, and that's great. And again, the city programs will be using that gym this year as well. So very good. All right, let's talk a little bit about what Ray did mention before he got finished, and that was working on some personnel policies for the city. He'll bring those back to the board, but he's still working on them.
That is correct.
All right, he turned the tables over to Public Works Director Mr. Mark Nash, and he was just enlightening. He got up and told everybody about utility bills for September.
That is correct. We're the AMI project that we're going through. We're finally starting to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel here, and we're getting to where that we can get bills out on a regular basis. We've sat down and come up with a plan of when we're going to send these bills out and be able to keep them on a monthly rotation and be able to get caught up a little bit. And so our billing cycles looks like it's going to be about a 35-day billing cycle. But if we can do that, then we can get caught up by the end of our fiscal year and be able to move forward. And so everything is looking really good. We do have about 100 meters that we still have left to replace. Unfortunately,
Trying to get those meters is a problem.
that is a problem, and so we're looking at about 16 weeks before those meters can or will be here. And the biggest issues with that is the parts. Unfortunately, you can't buy just the whole meter from the United States. There's parts and pieces that's made all over the world. The biggest issue is the parts that's coming from China, and it's taking so long to get there. And we even reached out to different meter manufacturers, and it's every one of them is the same. And so what we're doing is they've come up with a plan to where the meters that were short, we're going to still have the guys go out and manually read those meters on the day that we read the other meters electronically. And so we'll be able to keep those on the same rotation. And so really nobody should see any kind of difference on their bill. It'll all be the same. But we're in a position now to where we can get out monthly bills on a regular basis. And we're ready to move forward.
And if you don't get your bill, call.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they did mention, and I talked to Mark and Ray yesterday. One of the office staff was out sick, but they were still trying to walk through punching out bills, and so we're hoping that they got those printed out yesterday. They're looking at possibly folding them today, maybe getting them in the mail today, if not today, tomorrow.
Yeah, they're hoping to have them all out by Friday at the latest.
Yes.
All right. Now there was, in talking about that, talked to Verbal Blakely from BHMG, and they've done this review of the AMI system, and they're still, even though the meters, a lot of them can be read electronically, some of the electronic meters still are not communicating properly, and they have to be have to be read manually.
That is correct. And
these are isolated cases. This is where it really gets hairy.
It is. And, when you deal with 1,000 meters and you can do everything all at the same time, that's one thing. But we're to the point now to where we're having to do individual, onesies and twosies here and there. So that
onesies and twosies.
Yeah,
You're showing your age.
Exactly.
Showing you got kids, man.
Yeah. So, when you get to that point, it's a benefit because you're getting close, but unfortunately it takes a little bit more time to do that like that as well. But the issues are the meters that we have changed, we can't pull them into the system until we're at that
billing point.
Monthly billing point. And so each time we do a bill, we can pull more and more meters in. So that number that we have to go out and hand read gets smaller and smaller. But there is still that issue, but it's not a big deal. We can deal with that.
But you've reduced it to these individual meters, so
yeah,
you might be able to. It may only be 5 or 10 at a time, but for the most part, once they get down 5 to 10, then it gets down to 4 to 6, and then down to 2 to 3, until you finally make sure that all the meters are actually they're setting the electronic information correctly.
Yes.
But if I understood her correctly, what Verbal was saying is that once the meters are installed, then you got to download the software into the meter.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have to check it to see how accurate it is coming back. Crazy stuff. But anyhow, but we're on our way. She says they're whittling the problem down. I like that, whittling. I'm just sitting there thinking somebody's just cutting that wood, and then and it will be caught up. And she feels, sounded like to me, that maybe by the next fiscal year that this will all be taken care of.
Yes, exactly.
Very good. All right, so that's good news on the front.
Yes.
All right.
Very excited about that.
Okay, an MOU between the City of Salem and Salem R80. This was brought up at the last meeting about using the Salem City Hall as a place to go for the William Lynch Elementary and the developmental preschool over there in case of an emergency, where they could go and use that basement and things of that nature. There was I'll say a disagreement on it. The original agreement, there was just needed to be more clarity about length.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that's what the board brought up, and so they passed a new resolution for that length of when will Salem R80, if needed, take it, and when will they give it back?
Yes. And that, it was one of those things that, are they going to be there for a day? Are they going to be there for a month? Are they going to be there for, you didn't know. And so this way, this kind of covers everybody, draws it out a little bit better. And so that was approved.
It was a 4-year MOU, which is
Yes.
a memorandum of understanding. Now, this has not been approved by the R80 board yet. They will meet next Thursday.
Yes.
But it was approved by the Board of Aldermen to be sent to their board for their approval. All right, very good. You went into closed session. Any votes? Anything?
No
Did you
votes.
start having a media buffet?
No, unfortunately not.
Dang on it.
Sorry.
I keep asking commission. I ask guys.
Hospital.
Hospital.
One of these days, I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, "Hey, we got a bunch of stuff for you."
Yeah, we got a whole bunch. We got a media buffet, but you missed it.
Yeah.
Dang on it. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, Brad, as always, we thank you for coming in,
Thank
spending
you
some
very
time
much.
with us. We want to thank Brad, and we want to thank everybody in the city. This has not been an easy time with COVID and trying to get all the stuff changed out.
Yeah.
You can pull your hair out with it, and I've seen you've already done that.
I have a little bit.
Yeah. So is Ray.
yeah.
Ray has changed colors on his hair a lot, since this all happened, and I can understand why. But nonetheless, everything is starting to. It's kind of like when you flush a hydrant. Everything's starting to clear up again.
Uh-huh.
You ruffle that water up and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, we do understand a lot of the hydrants did get flushed, and the ISO rating is based upon the flow of that water coming out of those hydrants. And how did we do? Did we do pretty good?
I have not got. I talked to the ISO inspector yesterday. There was still a couple of questions that he had on the city side, because when they come in, the fire department has to fill out a survey of the equipment that we have and our capabilities, and the sheriff's department has to fill out a survey for 911 and that type of thing, and it even gets into building inspections, and then the water department has to fill out some paperwork on their capabilities. And so there was a couple of questions about a couple of hydrants that they tested, and so as soon as they get that back, then the guy will be able to finish up our audit, and we'll see where we're at.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Mayor Brad Nash, Mayor's Moments here on KSMO Radio. Stick around. We have coming up in just a moment, we have Nicole Hancock. She's out there, and she's excited. I can tell. She's thrilled, just ready to jump on the air. And we'll have her in about 7 minutes right here on KSMO Radio after some AP news right here on 1340 AM.